So thank you all for being here for our monthly Moad open mic. We are thrilled to have poet KB Brookins as our feature this evening. My name is Nia McAllister, and I'm the Senior Public Programs Manager at the Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco. As we begin, I invite you to share in the chat where you're joining us from. As many of us are settlers, immigrants, or descendants of those forcibly brought to this continent, our institutions were founded upon the exclusions and erasures of the indigenous peoples on whose lands we are located. Moad occupies the unceded land of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, and we pay our respects to the Ohlone peoples and their elders, both past and present, who've stewarded this land throughout the generations. We encourage everyone to learn more about the native lands that you occupy by visiting nativeland.ca, and we'll share that resource in the chat as well. It's always lovely to gather in community at these open mics. This is a space for community to bring our full selves, our spectrum of feelings and experiences, and to find comfort and joy in each other's company. So it's wonderful to see familiar faces and new faces as well. So I'll give a brief overview of the event, and then we'll get right into our poetry. So I'll ask that for folks who are not presenting or not sharing on the space, please do keep yourselves on mute, just so we can hear all of the folks who are coming up to the mic. Thank you to everyone who signed up in advance to read. I'll be dropping the lineup in the chat in just a moment, and each of our readers will have about 5 minutes to share. And if for some reason someone's not in the room when it's their turn in the lineup and they join later, we'll circle back and make sure that they have a chance on the mic. And about midway through our open mic readers, we'll have our wonderful feature, KB Brookins, up to share some poetry. And of course, since it's an open mic, we encourage affirmation. So please use the chat, please use the reactions to interact with our wonderful poets who are going to be sharing this evening. So to kick it off, I'm going to invite up Ibtihal Ahmed up to the mic. Welcome.
Hi, Nia. It's great to be back.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Sandalwood dreams. The flames of sandalwood enchant my soul. The same way sandstorms in this land create a whirlwind of joy inside my heart, I love the Nile. The same way its shores adore me, the same way the heartland claims me as a compatriot. The echoes of kindness are imprinted in each soul, the same way sand and love coexist. I am the daughter of the ancestors who buried their past near the mighty pyramids. I am the mother of golden shores, the sister of chivalrous brothers, the lover of the Nile which flows through my spirit. I am the spirit of the Nile, the same Nile that gives birth to streams of hope. The second one is called Liberation. She was infatuated with youthfulness the same way I used to be infatuated with drunken men. Every wrinkle in her being collided with the reality behind the years she collected. Every sear melted the ounce of self-confidence she once had. She reminded me of my youthful years, the same years I was passionate about the liberation of Palestine and the possibility of piecing together broken dreams. She was different. Her unapologetic resilience was more pronounced than her brokenness. The next one is called The Block. The stillness of life oftentimes leaves a writer wordless. But then the magic of life happens. Stillness meets fascination, and they both create exciting sequels that have beauty written all over them. The last one is called Birthday Song. I wrote this recently on my birthday. As the years multiply, I think of the joys that made my soul colorful, the laughter that made my spirit bigger, the waves of life that made my being wonder, the hurdles which gave birth to beautiful patience. As I come further in life, I admire contentment even more and wish it could sign me an autograph. Maybe I can wear the best of both worlds in my heart. Maybe someday I can build life with dust for endless bliss. Maybe faith and I can become friends so we can embrace the heavens. Maybe someday I can grow up to become the years spent on goodness. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all of those poems. Those were absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, I would like to invite Norm Maddox up to the mic. Welcome, Norm.
Hi, good evening. I have some new work here, airing it out for the first time. First piece is called hashtag Toss Back Thursday from a few lifetimes ago. Mount Tamalpais was just over my head. Horizons fell away just beyond my fingertips. Looking forward, I did not imagine the chaos inside me, cells composing shadows on shining paths. Didn't see the chaos regurgitate itself, living, no, not living, more like recreating in front of me. Rage smoldering on the shoulders of my byways, heat waves, outrage, memory banks, the tinderbox. Self-immolation plus spontaneous combustion. Didn't see the phoenix shedding fear of feathers on fire. New life on this path was going to take off. Ashes in my wake. Next piece. Trauma translated. Blunt force trauma. A bashed in skull. A bruised thigh. Emotional trauma. Abandonment. Cut off feelings, even if they're hurt. Traumatic trauma. Falling out of a dream, landing on reality. A mind changed against its will. Enlightenment trauma. The light of knowing, blinding the ignorant. Being woke from anesthetized slumber. No bruises. Last piece. This is called So Far. Why our ship is seaworthy. Here's what I've got so far. Because listening to each other is deeper than a kiss. Our silence speaks volumes. We write every muse. Because you hold space for me and my ancestors to feel courageous in your embrace. Because the arch of your foot sandwiched between two warm hands, a perfect fit for my palms. Because your lips, when your lips kiss my face, I melt like butter on a short stack of blueberry banana pancakes. Because you say pernil, I imagine a cascade of meat falling off shoulder bones, skin caramelized just right. Because you keep a collection of dog-eared postcards I've sent from other lifetimes that show red circles around missing punctuation, two W's where you think I wrote the wrong word. Because you offered me a ride to the train station, a green light was your signal to drive me all the way home instead. Because our ship will sail to the horizon at the speed of a blue-violet sky. The golden hour will always be in front of us because we will never get there, a forever sunset. Peace.
Thank you so much, Norm. That was beautiful. The golden hour. Wow. Thank you so much for those poems. Next up, I would like to invite Zakia G.E. Capehart. Welcome, Zakia. Zakia, are you speaking? We can't hear you right now. There we go. Oh, we still can't hear you, Zakia. No worries. Do you want us to come back to you? London Smith. Oh, wait. I think we can hear you now. Oh, never mind. How about if we come back to you after another reader? Is that okay, Zakia? Okay, great. All right, well, I'll welcome up Landon up to the mic.
I thought I was later. I just saw this on the right. I was like, ooh, move me up. What's up, y'all? Always a pleasure. Thank you to Nia for always organizing, holding space. Thank you to Moad, as always. There are 2 less feet in a tent this evening. And somewhere, a prison guard gives another close fist speech about order. The air thins above a tent pole eviction notice, while a new jumpsuit is handed to a tooth on a cement floor. Nikki Bass photo shoot next to gentrified housing while Noel Gallo votes to steal more Fruitvale money into patrol cars. Leach van ready to pile up bodies to bleed corners dry for development while Gary Yee red tags another black school for prison bed construction. At least there will be clean street corners, they will say. At least there will be law and order. Dirt is always better swept under a rug, or at least onto the next encampment. And 3 tents blown on the other side of 580 will lower property value, and more protest signs will pop up just to be ignored next week. But I drag infected minds through the broken tires of my unread poems. McCarthyism smashed into my dinner plate, hoping to crack the communists for my swollen red knuckles. John Ehrlichman shoulder shrugs my car upside down to the part of Foothill buried in flashing patrol lights while Reaganism hovers above my neighborhood like the smog in my kids' new lungs. Reaganism, like the smog in my kids' new lungs. Biden-era pen strokes flood Lake Merritt with pay stations, hoping to drown out sideshows. There is blood on your overcoat, Your Honor. What good is a progressive leech, Your Honor, if I will still be 3 courts low after the confirmation hearing confirms me to be a necessary sacrifice on the white Jesus altar of justice, harmonizing about the beauty in my execution? South Carolina firing squad triggering my last rites before I become a useful bullet in the throat of my comrades. Empire selling bombs in the name of my great-grandmother's dirt-scraped knees, while I drag lineage through dirt roads, sandstorms, scraping knees on cement cinder blocks stacked in the way, my wrist cut deeply on the journey, salt water stinging bone showing before someone else tells me I'm healed, tells me to move on. When I drag lineage by their wrists, wiping off eraser dust mixed with diamond flakes they sold back to us, saying that's all our hands were good for, losing limbs between borders some European gave name to, that I should be proud of, that Singbei PA revolted to come back to. Maybe my wrist bleed on the chains he broke just to be Spielberged in white saviorhood. While I feel lineage weighted down beneath Valongo wharf remains, paved over just to be built atop silk covers underneath liberation strangleholds. When I drag lineage from a native language, not a native language, in hopes of speaking with lineage between borders and sandstorms, I was told I didn't need to know. Enough Mende for struggle. I drag lineage with dislocated wrists. Separated at the broken tree branch, telling stories in contradiction to the tall tale pillar by monument and sand in my shoes. Now, a real poet told me once that not every story has to appeal to the heart. It can appeal to the spine. Severed vertebrae shouting, hear me out, from straitjacket buckles and scratches on cement walls that made my spine property of the state, that made me 2/3 of a past the future late-made bloodstained baton swing, slush fund bomb exploding outside what used to be my bedroom wall just long enough for the taste of rubble to be family heirloom. Nobody even asked where I wanted my body to be buried. I'm talking to this soil. Like everything is a weapon formed against me. Melatonin making Medgar Evers my docent on this impending bullet train. Woke up 10 times lost. Coroner can tell you jokes 3 minutes past America if you wait long enough. Might diagnose you as a rebel if you speak too loudly about the cause of death. Every 20 minutes, another puppet dies by teleprompter. Tells a revolutionary to just vote if they want change. Tucks in sheets on deathbed for preparation. Hell, how you gonna make it out alive anyway? You might as well laugh through that ash coat in lungs. We used to breathe air, now all we do is drink water and pray for the fire next time. Burning flag flapping around a body somebody deemed illegal somewhere. Drew a border and said, I dare you to cross. Let's see if your lungs can take in more air than this bullet can take from you. First step is to dare you to dream. Second step is to get you to fall in love with the sound of a growling stomach. Third step is to sacrifice you to a tree branch to put you on a postcard. What good is the poet with no neck, the coroner will joke. Only half of the half he spoke to listened anyway. My burial plot placed center stage for encore viewing. Never had a dream within this colonial opiate. Capitalists othered a railroad worker, then Silk Road traded them for dirt. Threw a pig at a labor strike and watched the bodies fall. Greasy palms oil prison pipelines while the moderate preachers reform. Property tax still funding school budgets, but they got the nerve telling me to grab a picket sign while a rock laying right here. Smoke and mirrors breeding infighting over blood money. All money is blood money. Thought we made it out the cotton fields just to be grandfathered in. Heard a whip crack in a handcuff clasp, in a sentencing hearing, in a salary negotiation behind bulletproof plantation windows. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Landon. I feel like out of breath processing everything. Thank you. Zakia, are you ready to come back up to the mic? All right, well, we'll get back to you in the second half then. All right, well, I am gonna read a couple poems, introduce our feature, and then we have some more wonderful poets lined up for the second half. So I'm gonna switch it up and read someone else's poem today. Juneteenth is coming up and I have conflicting feelings. So I'm gonna read this poem by Patricia Smith, which is entitled The Stuff of Astounding, a poem for Juneteenth. Unless you spring from a history that is smug and reckless, unless you vowed yourself blind to a ceaseless light, you see us. We are a shade-shine toddler writhing through Sunday sermon. We are the grizzled elder gingerly unfolding his last body. We are intent and insistent upon the human in ourselves. We are the doctor on another day at the edge of reason, coaxing a wrong hope, ripping open a gasping body to find air. We are 5 men dripping from the burly branches of young trees, which is to say that we dare a world that is both predictable and impossible. What else can we learn from suicides of the cuffed, the soft target black backs be? Stuck in its rhythmic, unreal, time keeps including us, even as our aged root is doggedly plucked and trampled, cursed by ham-fisted spitters in the throes of a particular fever. See how we rush on as enigma, the free out loud, the audaciously unleashed, how slyly we scan the sky, all that wet voltage and scatters of furious star, to realize that we are the recipients of an ancient grace. No, we didn't begin to live when on the 19th day of June, that awkward, ordinary spring with no joy, in a monotone still flecked with deceit, seems you and these others are free. That moment did not begin our breath. Our truths, the ones we had been birthed with, had already met reckoning in the fields as we muttered tangled nouns of home. We reveled in black from there to now, our rampant hue and nap, the unbridled breath that resides in the rafters from then to here. Everything we are is the stuff of astounding. We are a mother who hums snippets of gospel into the silk curls of a newborn. We are the harried sister on the elevator to a weekly paycheck mama dreamed for her. We are Black in every way there is. Perm and kink, upstart and elder, wide voice, fervent whisper. We heft our clumsy homemade placards. We will curl small in the gloom, weeping to old blues ballads. We swear not to be anybody else's idea of free, lining up precisely, waiting to be freed again and again. We are branch, we are breach and bellow, resisting a silent consent as we claim our much of America, its burden, its snarl, the stink and hallelujah of it, its sicknesses and safe words, all its Black and otherwise. Only those feigning blindness fail to see the body of work we are and the work of body we have done. Everything is what it is because of us. It is misunderstanding to believe that free fell upon us like a blessing, that it was granted by a signature in an abruptly open door. Listen to the thousand ways to say Black out loud. Hear a whole people celebrate their free and fragile lives. Then find your own place inside that song. Make the singing matter. And then I'm going to read one of mine and then introduce our feature. This is entitled, When Bones Talk Out the Side of Their Neck. What I know to be true is I am buried beneath the bougainvillea bush. My sibling is the very earth I lie in. Our first lifeline is now somebody else's food. It is 2:34 a.m. in the town that birthed these Pine Bluff bloodlines. It is 40 degrees Fahrenheit in that same town that ran our mothers out. Sundown in any other place would be beautiful. My memories sleep in two separate rooms. They argue about picket lines through the wall in my childhood closet. They ask, what came first, the mask or the martyr? The forgetting begins 2 steps before the dream wakes up. The virus arrives as a door knocker, and I watch erosion from afar. See, I suppose it's common for oceans to make arches of the rock. I am coming to tell you we have been here before. I am coming to tell you one day you will be the oldest generation. I'm coming to tell you this poem is the last place they will look for you. I'm coming to tell you the revolution will come with water. I tell you, I'm coming. Thank you. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce KB Brookins. KB is from Stop 6, Fort Worth, Texas. They are Black, queer, transmasculine poet, essayist, and cultural worker. They have words published or forthcoming in Teen Vogue, American Poetry Review, Autostraddle, Cincinnati Review, and elsewhere. Their chapbook, How to Identify Yourself with a Wound, won the Saguaro Poetry Prize. KB has earned fellowships with PEN America, Lambda Literary, The Watering Hole, African American Leadership Institute, Austin, and elsewhere. And their debut full-length poetry collection, Freedom House, is forthcoming from Deep Vellum in 2023. Welcome, KB.
Yo, what's good? Oh my gosh. San Francisco, what is good? And everyone from everywhere else. Thank y'all so much for having me. I'm KB. That bio makes me sound like the most intimidating person ever, but I promise I am so down to earth. Only people that are not down to earth say that they're down to earth. I hope you see that through my poems. How about that? I got a couple of joints for y'all. Once again, thanks for having me. Nia said that I am from Fort Worth. I figured I could start, since I'm so far from home now, and greeting y'all from wherever y'all are with a poem about Fort Worth. It is called Greetings from Fort Worth, Texas, and it is from my chapbook, How to Identify Yourself with a Wound. I'm gonna turn my blurriness off in a minute so y'all can actually see the cover. All right. Greetings from Fort Worth, Texas. I want to love this city. The street I grew up on where 3 men brown as church pews roll in dirt as cops suffocate their wistful wrists. Dogs sniffing through the newly built house that's since been boarded up. You know, the corner store where Ramey and Stall cut meat. Where I first smoked weed with a young boy in orange shoes who now rocks an orange jumpsuit. The brown sauce smothered pork chops and stormy Mondays that fill your tummy till you feel a kind of heaven. Yo, I want this city to be loved for downtown and the hood equally. When I went to university up the street, they told me not to drive past the train tracks because it's sketchy over there. Like being thrust into whiteness isn't sketchy enough. Like wax dripping candles at high school vigils aren't just as pretty as the parade of lights on 7th Street. I hate to love this city. Where the stop sign on Berry has 6 painted under stop so you know what hood it is. Where I first felt love, like true love, breathing on the side of my neck on the littest of school nights from a boy who these days pushes daisies. Damn, I love this city. You lay on the wood and rusted nail where South Side and the burbs meet long enough, you'll hear church ladies humming. Thank you. Great. That's that poem. I'm hoping that y'all hype me up because I really actually can't know if I'm doing well via Zoom usually. So I just be like, all right, I hope everybody likes it. I don't know. But thank you. All right, so I want to just like have y'all enter into the atmosphere of this book. So How to Identify Yourself with a Wound is very much a book about me being a Black, queer, and trans person growing up in Texas. Also about just like coming into yourself and like redefining what others would like you to think are wounds, right? Blackness, queerness, transness, like all of those things that are continuously like told to you are bad things. And this book is kind of like me on my own terms, like thinking about the experiences that I had and telling them like in my own way. And also like telling you, you know, you, the infamous you to their face that, you know, they're wrong. I think I'm pretty cool. And I think my friends are pretty cool and my community is pretty cool. So this is a poem, How to Identify Yourself in a Wound, 2007. I was in middle school in 2007 and it's literally just a snapshot of that time. And nobody could have predicted this prickly, upper-lipped, demi-queer picture it. A 12-year-old rocking cornrows, always dressed in pastels and sporting feathered eyelashes from clucking one too many a chicken head, always palms down on any school lunch table, 12 to 12:30 p.m., busting pins, they periodically splash up my long white uniform shirt. Man, your mama gonna kill you. And if she did, I wouldn't blame her. Honestly, it's best to identify yourself with a wound, preferably before they even happen. That way, when they're ready to puncture permanence in you, you don't flinch or run or howl too loud, because who wants sirens blaring in the hood for any old weekday trauma? Let's start with the obvious, the complicated relationship with home. Though home should never be jeopardized. Besides, I'm 12. Too young to hold a story no one listens to, too busy beating on lunchroom tables, wondering what it takes to be a little less visible. Okay, cool. That's that poem. Thank you. I heard somebody talk about gentrification earlier, and I'm like, oh, wow, finally a crowd where I can talk about that, because y'all can relate, unfortunately. So I live in Austin, Texas, which is literally gentrification, Texas, and I write a lot about that. One of the poems of which are in this book. Of course, all of the references are very specifically Austin, but I am pretty sure that it rings to be universal. I guess y'all will tell me. It's called Transplant. Coffee shop, bike lane, yoga studio, dog park. You walk into HEB and are the only Black person. You heard this story, right? The big twist is that they're the only store with the House of Sang peanut sauce you like, so you roll your basket to the ethnic spices aisle. One wheel touches a white man's heel. You say sorry. He hears sinner. Juice shop, Whole Foods, construction sign. White girl says, this new bar doesn't attract all the weird locals. You immediately think of college. White girl said your side of town was sketchy and that didn't end well, so you get your drink and leave, draped in all your transplant guilt. Are you the gentrifier or the weird local? You share the area code of one in the face of the other. Pop up, help wanted, nonprofit, vintage shop. Can one suffocate from overwhelming whiteness? You Google this before bed. White girl at the feminist bookstore you work at wears a pussy hat, says hola to your Latina friends. She asks, what's up, after saying hello to everyone else. Despite the bad lighting, you see the gleam of good intentions in her eyes. You say nothing, softly, back. Corporate headquarters, fake trees, order maintenance. You try not to get all squeamish and shamed when 50 Cent comes on in the club. You wonder if leaving everything behind in your hometown was for this. White man gets in the middle of your dance circle and you turn. Eventually, everyone turns. Eventually, he tries to handshake. You offer a dap instead. You wonder if keep Austin weird is a typo. You drink margs at brunch in the business they call a city. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Blank % rent increase. Blank school closed due to lack of enrollment for sale. Contact realtor. Thank you. Cool. So now I'm still gonna read from this book, but I'm gonna take a little detour, swerve, to read a poem that is from a book called Freedom House. Freedom House is a book that I wrote that doesn't come out until next year, but because I like y'all, I'm gonna read a poem from that book. And also the promo and all of that will start for it pretty soon. So I figure why not? I also feel like in that book's mission is a lot more like, boo, America. And I feel like it very much fits like the political moment right now, just with all of the frustrations that folks are having around the kind of like inaction that our political sector is having. And also like, I don't know, issues just feel very cyclical. This poem is called We Are Owed This. And the note that I have for it is on the day that Derek Chauvin is indicted for George Floyd's murder and we learn of Makia Wright. The least they could do is put a white boy in handcuffs, push his face into dirt, make him eat verdicts until his tongue mistakes the tanginess for justice. The least the state could do was put a man behind bars with taxpayers and public backlash. That's not the extent of this country's dreams. If I was a bird, I'd be something like a pigeon-eagle mix. Bold and funny looking, arrogant and identifiable by the genes etched in my ancestors' wounds. In this hope, I see babies being happy with no cops around to shoot up their dreams. In this dream, prisons evaporate like a doctor shot with garlic and cayenne. We are owed a spicy iced down future at least. We are owed a playground for uncles to sell Lucy's at any corner store and children to call for help from adults. Death isn't a lesson learned. It is only an ending, an opportunity to do nothing else. If I am destined to be that bird, I'll pick up all my homies and the years delayed migration to landscapes where Black people can live. We are owed this, as well as a trip down memory lane, A time when trips were voluntary and never by ocean. Thank you. All right, cool. All right. I'm ping-ponging now back to this book. I'm gonna just expand the chat in hopes that y'all are not dragging me. Okay, amazing. Thank you. So now I've been watching a lot of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Does anyone else like that show, or is it just me? Anybody? No? No takers? Okay, that's fine. That is my show of choice, simply because I feel like we deserve reality shows where Black women can just be whoever they are. And also, I just love mess. I like when a fight is happening, I run towards it. You know, I'm that kind of person. So anyway, this poem is about gender as well as like my love for Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we'll see how it lands with the people that understand the references. Break up with your gender, I'm bored. We could start this letter with the audacity. How you ignore the growth of flesh on your chest and how the sight of them brings you to tears like Candy seasons 2 through 11. How they carry the world like Kenya Moore carries season 8 of Real Housewives, and how I hate them just as much as everyone hated Kenya for what she did to Phaedra. How they sway in your cerebrum and you get nauseous with shame. Undiligence leads to ignorance. Your back stressed from sleeping in binders for 3 days. It's time. Break up with your gender like Nene broke up with Greg until he got his shit together in season 5. What if surgery changes nothing? What will become of you then? Loyalty is not gender's language. Like it isn't the language of Nene seasons 1 through 12. I want more for you. I want more for love. This has never been it. After this, you'll be free, like Phaedra from her season 10 contract. You won't have to breathe and feel everything tonight. You'll feel nothing. And nothing is the true meaning of gender, isn't it? Cool, thank you. I have just 2 more poems for you, and then I'm gonna move out of the way and listen to y'all be awesome again. This poem is new. It is not attached to anything. So any publishers out there, you want this, you got it, literally just DM me. And I figured I needed to read like a Pride Month poem. It's Pride Month, you know, the folks are out here trying to get freedom. I've been, you know, silently watching all of the kind of conversations that have been happening online, and this like argument that has existed since I have existed, which is like there's some kind of agenda, like, you know, gay people are secretly out here trying to have some kind of agenda and like make everybody gay or something. It's silly, right? But I was like, well, what is so wrong with having an agenda? I personally love color-coded things. I love a meeting when it's not on Zoom. So I don't know. I just like wrote a poem, and we'll see. We'll see what it's doing. It is called "And What's So Wrong with Having an Agenda." Meeting minutes tickle the throats of homophobes. Send them sneezing up a drizzle of legislation that soothes their aching nose. So powerful, the flick of a twink's hand when they say the council never gave dead. And it didn't. And it gathered all the trans girls for an investigation into why cis people care so much about what's underneath their skirts. Shave files are color-coded. Teens live for a choreographed moment, a rainbow march, a protest outside Greg Abbott's house banging on a drum that looked like Kim Paxton's head. They love a beautiful queer future. So we have one queer character for every 100 straight ones on network TV. So we have trans boys who play sports and exist unafraid, happy even to swim with their scarred up chests. Yes, There will be an influx of stats showing that our people brave enough to disclose facts about themselves. Call it agenda, though its proper name is progress. Yes, we will keep having our alphabet mafia meetings if it means more of us can create a better agenda with this on the list of to-dos. Cancel NYT. Free everything for Black trans people. Land back, clap back at the sight of a homophobe writing wizard books that make houses of shame. Get free. Eat rich people like gluten-free bagels at the drag brunch. More drag brunches, please. Get free. Cool, that's that poem. Cool. So thank y'all again for having me. This is my last piece. If you liked like more than half of these poems, you like enough to buy this book, okay? I dropped the link in the chat. I'm legally obligated to tell y'all to go buy it. But you can also follow me on the social medias. I'd love to connect, hit me up. I only have those things so I literally can talk to folks like y'all. I'm not trying to be on there otherwise, so definitely hit me up. This last poem is in How to Identify Yourself with a Wound, and it is a snapshot of 2016. To the black spot on the vein of my left arm for the weekly plasma donations. To the brown scar under my chin from running too fast on a freshly mopped floor. To the altar I called my dorm bed. To Kay, who fires sanity to sleep next to me. To the poems I've started and stopped for femmes with dyed fades and nails plunged in bubblegum pink. To Dollar Tree nail polish, because it's always been there. To the top coat for staining my favorite jacket. To the scars blotched over my legs from scratching mosquito bumps to being a tomboy in elementary and middle school. To the manuscripts I didn't finish. To the fragments that choked them out. To the stretch marks on my stomach and forearms and shoulders. To the animals of past lovers I definitely miss more than the lovers. To all the other what ifs minimized to a timeline. To my people that have transitioned to another plane. To you, the witness of what love does to the brain. To my friends for loving me, though they don't always know how. To my body for housing a trauma that is timid. To the holes in my jeans, to my wide hips and my lips for always being uncontainable. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, KB, for that feature, for all those poems. Everyone, please go buy their book. And thank you for dropping all the links and social in the chat. And before you completely leave, I want to invite you to share if you have any other events coming up in the tour, anything else people should be looking out for, any other ways that people can support. Please let us know. KB, do you have any other events you want to share in the moment? Or you can also put it in the chat, that's totally fine too.
Yeah, so we'll drop a link in the chat. But I have something, this is actually my last month of touring, but I do have some things coming up, so I will drop a link in the chat.
Amazing, thank you so much. All right, so we have a bunch of other poets coming up in our second half. So I would like to invite Mr. Poetivist up to the mic to start us off.
Yeah, hello.
Hi there.
Please, am I heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and good morning to everyone. It's 1:50 a.m. in Ghana, and I am glad to share 2 poems with you and go back to bed. The first poem is titled Brotherhood, and I wrote this for the Black community outside the walls of my country. So this is Brotherhood. Tell them brothers of long ago in slums and distant hills, when they slaughtered many deep nights on the ancestral river to hold the mandem in silence. Tears wept in our voices for the first time. Tell them, my brothers living, maybe again and again say tomorrow they will come for us. They will come for our skin in a patrol of blue string sirens. They will throw our father's memory on our necks. They will come for us with restless feelings that we won't belong in harmony, because they feel our symphony speaks a cold dance on their white land, and they fear the birth in our seed. Man, they will come for us, because we have wrested our souls from a wistful watch, and we accept not to cage our dignity. But if anyone amongst this brotherhood should go, remember, the black heavenly scars of unfiltered struggle nurtured by memorial tears were broken together in many stillness of smoky exiles for us to know that change by any means is not for us, and we need not see the very bitter night on a strange land. We do not have sleep anymore, strangers. We are freedom fought before. Hope of dreamers traveled across shores. The beginning of a God marched on at Selma, Alabama. So if we soak this brotherhood in betrayed ashes, the laughter is on us. So this is my first poem, Brotherhood. And my next poem is titled Village Crimes. And it is an intro to an experimental project I released this year. This is Village Crimes. Let me dare tell you the truth of the village. When the sun flirted with us, night came in shadows. We were sent away by a wind that lost way here. The taste of our iniquities hovered on our tables. Our very important people seriously broke the village pot that we were eating from, and we couldn't say a word. Last morning, our father was told the truth of his tongue. They say he went through the back of his wife, our mother. We stayed gnashing our sorrows. Could you believe that it was when the nakedness of our eyes left enough at the village square that the chief boldly slept with the wife of the priest when he, the priest, went to pray for the chief and the village? The daughter of the priest also fortunately slept in love with the priest. They made enough love to interrupt the silence of daylight, and the servant of the priest, he also grabbed the twins of the queen mother in the shrine. Come and see cemented kisses pounding. Could you believe that the concerned neighbor who saw all called it sacrilege? He bought truth to pay the debt of this fraudulent village. But the people, my people, your people, our people, they came for him at the neck, and the priest requested for his head. He said he has burdened the land with a curse. What did he do? He questioned the skin color of the priest's teeth. He informed the people of the chief licking his hands at a gathering near the village. Today, our coward elders still go pouring vodka over his grave. I don't blame them. I don't blame anyone. They say it is to redeem us from the curse. Could you believe that upon all these, God and his silence dances abroad romantically on ancestral soil? Thank you so much for hearing me out. It's an honor, and I am going back to bed. I'll catch up with the footage when it is uploaded on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing both of those poems. And thank you for staying up and waking up for open mic. It's wonderful to have you here. Next up, I would like to invite Zakia G.E.K. Park. Welcome up, Zakia.
It's hi, Nia. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Sorry for what happened earlier. My computer wouldn't work for me. And then I went to my phone and my phone wouldn't work for me. So I was having all kinds of issues, but glad I got through. It's been many, many moons. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. So I have two pieces to read. And I'm reading from the new anthology entitled Black Fire This Time, Volume 1. That's been edited by Dr. Kim McMillan. And I have two pieces here. So the first piece is called Fires in Oakland. We always get screwed, and that's the drill. The West Oakland apartment building fire was not on the news. When I heard about it, I got the blues. It touched my heart and ripped it apart. A tragic fire blazing in the night, causing unimaginable fright. Most were asleep, but began to weep. Fire burning, smoke filling eyes, clogging throats, babies crying, children screaming, afraid, disoriented, confused. 100 Black people displaced because of a landlord's greed, property owners, spectators, developers too, all conspiring against me and you. Does anybody care? Fire took the lives of people who lived there. Multiple violations, building run down, holes in walls, ceilings threatening to fall, water leaks causing mold, electrical wires exposed, pipes rusted, filled with lead. A drink of water could kill you dead. Rats, roaches, bed bugs running amok. But the landlord still wants his buck. 100 Black people displaced, driven into the street. No shelter, no clothing, no water, no food. The ghost ship fire was all over the news. Are the deaths and displacement of Black people unimportant news? Elders, disabled people, families with children, those who survived are homeless now. My next piece is entitled MRI, My Reasonable Imagination. Am I a misfit, a pop-up, propped-up mannequin, a muffled woman, a Black doll, a silent observer, a speechless participant, an innocent bystander, or an unenthusiastic gopher? During my confinement in this prison, I imagine how relieving it will be when I am free, free to move around, free to speak, free to laugh, free to cry, free to think of more than escaping from this physical and mental confinement. In my seclusion, my reasonable imagination keeps me from thoughts I consider unreasonable, thoughts of me screaming until the volume of my screams shatter and crumble the walls of this transparent prison that cripples me. Thoughts of me being transported to a different place and time. And in this place, I will be embraced, not rejected. I will be loved, not hated. I will have peace, not war. I will have equality, not injustice and racism. I will have truth, not lies. I will have freedom, not imprisonment or the illusion of freedom. Pondering, I realized these are indeed reasonable thoughts. So I embrace all of my thoughts. My reasonable imagination acknowledges and understands this 6 by 12 by 12 cardboard box is symbolic and coincides to the space I inhabit here on planet Earth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zakia, for both of those poems. And I'm super excited to read the anthology as well.
Wonderful.
Next up, I would like to invite up to the mic, Robert Zachary. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I also agree. It has been many moons, but it's good to be back. I would like to read from a poem with 7 stanzas, and I want to read stanza 4. Ode meditation for precious, precious. Our conflicts, when they were minor, in our world we created and made, was all precious. Well, that's how we related in realms of the divine. And I saw an assault upon our history, a combined effort to transform it and to transcend it into something ugly, or to deny and totally wipe it away. And my head continued to shake. No, like an umpire on a mound rejecting the pitch, because we be the precious knowers of the knowing of no. There is a musical pitch in precious that we always aggravated to, no matter where we are in the world. This is why when we see each other, whatever continent the people of color beyond, recognize precious and bow and speak and honor each other, like the woman who came up to me from Zanzibar, singing praises toward me in the Hague train station, giving accolades of Hail Mary and all hail in reference to our ancestors taken so long ago away. But the sight of me gave the affirmation we made it through and got away. So yes, there be a pitch sound to precious, remembering we brought here of sound from our rockin' chimes universe. Rock me, universe, for I hear precious in the sound, through the wind and the sounds through our music, whether we are resounding with Winton on his last symphony or under the baton of the great Dean Dixon, who Bernstein said was greater than he, but America would not hear of it. Dean having to leave his birthplace like a nomad seeking on the world stage. Oh, precious be Marvin Gaye singing What's Going On, or chanting on tantric rhythms of sexual healing, and Tammy and Minnie Riverton and Nina and Roberta and Lauren answering back, Catherine Battle, Marian Anderson, Leontine Price, and the unforgettable Jessie Norman, all divas divinely endowed precious being. The world and all of heaven bowed down and sang the precious Negro spiritual. Oh, the angels done bow down. Oh, the angels done bow down. Oh, the angels done bow down. Lord, the angels done bow down. precious, precious. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to have you back at Open Mic.
Thank you.
Next up, I would like to invite Tarita Mikel up to the mic. Welcome, Tarita.
Hi, how are you? Thanks. Oh, well, all right. I'm not going to fight with that right now. Yes, thank you so much, and everyone that contributes their word, their vision. I'm going to share this piece I did Saturday night and Monday, and I just, I'm going through some stuff. So it's called Lessons from the Edge. Lessons from the Edge, barriers broken. It is said English distorts meaning. Words create a certain kind of remove, said the linguist. Trained not to think in systemic causation, said the scholar. We speak a language that picks our pocket, said the poet. Histories, his stories. Sleep inside histology, her skin cell walls, a radar protects, flesh, bone, mind, soul, remembers, eyelid, edge, opens, wide, closed, snaps, picture, book, rock, drops in sea of blood water, ripple, waves ashore, maps, collective spots, arbor, spears ovum, conceives, navel to navel, new breed, bears response abilities from the edge of hegemony, when and how long life ends or begins, respect fetus, damn the child, adult, insult, unhoused, trafficked, hungry, selling their body, mass murders, condones the furor, suffer little ones that come unto me, for yours is the kingdom of guns, oil, drugs, where God is no respecter of persons, for the Bible tells us so. Acts 10:34, for the Bible tells us so. President's hand swears upon taking office, can't forgo. Born broken with lessons from the edge. Some children want to know if they will see their own children. Male infants born with less testosterone, sperm count drops 1% per year, last 50 by 2045. Biochemists say it'll be harder to conceive life. Will human reproduction survive? Eating GMO, plastics, electromagnetic frequency, most important product, disrupts hormone receptors, deed, living on the edge, 900% rise in adult diapers. A nation subconsciously pees on itself. Scared fecalist, does this shit matter? From the edge, holding on to two opposed views at the same time. Doublethink dines on contradictions, afflicts decisions, argues well against both. Never let the right hand know what the left is doing. Own nothing. Be happy. Names, labels, prescribed behaviors. People walk on shattered mirrors, glass shards exposed, barefoot all over. Opioid relieve pain for monetary gain. Suicide prevention and assistance pursues the end game. Cancel culture, is this the religious idea of Armageddon, the rapture? Lord, do you and the landlord have a thing going on? Or these lessons from the edge, the trick or treat? Wean from the holy, meet renunciation of instinct. At club, go to Hades, bounce a pop of fog. Demand your secret calling card. Rather not serve in heaven, but rule in hell. It's a Milton tale. Well, allegiance, where allegiance fails, falls through filigreed walls, ceilings, floors, crack attacks. You didn't see it like this, you saw it like that. Groom alternative facts, manufacture consent. Minds harvested, eyes wide open, shut, bent on edge of remembrance, internal intelligence between matter and void. Why social reckoning after public lynching of George Floyd? He wasn't the first, has not been the last. Worldwide wars, near genocide of Native Americans, the disappearance of baby children from mothers' arms, harmed at borders where secret barriers judge land, color, skin tones, first tongues, inferior, where manifest destiny is superior, breaking barriers, lessons from the edge, a line overthrows causal reasoning. There's no scientific proof fish need water to survive, said authorities to a community that was hoping for reciprocity, listening to the edge of insanity, but we don't give up. Forget giving up. Triangles, inject, project, carbon, six, sister, brother, soul light, no more word, fixed, wave, weave, up and down, fiber skirt, round, sound, music, dance, art, paint. Paint. Build rotten staff. Rot and staff synapse, comfort weave. Living color trees of knowledge among flora, fauna, feet. And feather wheels, Fibonacci recognize consistent deal. Numbers, sun, moon, stars, as above, so below, gut senses, heart, olfactory knows when edge is exposed. Our floral bouquets, not the way of our table, who bears witness? At the cell, the wall, the edge, the door, where in every deliberation, the impact of our decisions must be made on the next 7 generations, those faces yet still beneath the ground. Thank you. I just had to release that. I'm just a little emotional right now.
Thank you so much, Tarita, for sharing that piece. And for being in the space, sharing the whole range of feelings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. And I'm also in the Black Fire anthology that came out, but there's several others. So this is just some, each one of us has something to say about the corner of the universe that we abide in. And I am so thankful to be among you. Thank you.
That was so beautifully well put. And yes, the anthology, it has an incredible range and lineup of poets that are included. So I encourage everyone to get a hold of a copy. All right, so we have two more readers in our open mic this evening. I would like to invite up Melissa Coleman. Welcome up to the mic.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here, and special thanks to Nia and Moad. I'm going to read 2 poems. The first one is called Prototype. At the dawn of composition, they spoke invertedly, into prose knowing its vitality, a seed sprouting roots of subject and predicate, agreements to annex the mouths of the captive, bewitched tongues lap dance across tight ropes, brokered to achromatic canvas, voicing folktales of our corporeality, a boundlessness with finite tones. As night falls on Constitution, we uproot coiled throats, transplanting ethereal timbre, painting the void in iridescent hues, a resetting of craft cradled by our meaning. That's the first one. I wrote this when I was in the writing salon. I was very frustrated with English being the only language that I can speak. So I want to create our own. The second one is called Insurgent Being After Langston Hughes. An eco-tone of sea and black, germane to the plot, a myth ascribed by the colonial, the material reality for this basin of flesh. I lost my trees. Adam's hand of dominion marked purpose. I lost my silver moons. Existential ranking beget Blackness, a site of non-location, caged in the circus of civilization, caged in the circus of civilization, caged in the circus of civilization. The classified, the imagined, the non-self could never lay claim to the human, a fable, siphoned unabridged sentience to a relegated domain of the other, Black, liminal and seismic, slip top of latrine of an identity complex, beget a spring. That's the end of the second one. That one was inspired by Frank B. Wilderson's Afro-pessimism text, and still in AFCO, they talk about Black veganism and feminism. That's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for both of those poems and for being here. It's really exciting to hear your work. Thanks. And to close us out, I would like to invite up Avacha up to the mic. Welcome, Avacha.
I am so honored to be here. You know, wow, the Right Reverend Tarita Mikel, just what can I say? You blew me away again. Anyway, everybody was wonderful. And I'm also in the Black Fire anthology and strongly recommend everybody get a copy of Be Medicine to Your Soul. You know, Father's Day is Sunday, and I really am honored here in Oakland. The brothers put on major celebrations for Mother's Day for us, and we had planned on doing a big thing for Father's Day, and then the pandemic hit, so we couldn't do it. So here's one I wrote for my father, and I dedicated to all of the fathers out there. I'm a daddy's girl, and so I'm going to do this one here because I think it's really important that we support each other. And I'm going to have to go and read it off of my computer because I don't have a printed copy in front of me. Ay Dios. Okay, hold on a second here. Let me do this. Ay. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, my father was, people put these weird roles on us as men and women, and Poppy was the one that played the role that most women are supposed to play. And I would give him a Mother's Day card every year, and he would get pissed off at it. And so one day I decided I wasn't going to do it. So I didn't give him a Mother's Day card, and I was walking away. He says, "Where's my card?" So I dedicated to all of you fathers who are taking care of business like it is the business supposed to be taken care of, because the truth of the matter is we don't make it without each other. So if I can make this thing come up here. Okay, come on, poem. I'm having a rough time with this. Me and computers do not compute. Okay, I think after all of that talking, I think I'm not going to be able to do it because I can't get it to print out. Okay, so let me just do something else. Forgive me, but I wish you a happy Father's Day anyway because I can't get it up. So I'll do something else. I'll do two other things. We were talking, several of us, about, and I think maybe Nia alluded to it, that it was only a matter of time before the snakes started crawling out and tried to commercialize Juneteenth. And I heard it, I was disgusted, and I heard some sucker talking about a Juneteenth celebration, a sale for Juneteenth. I said, oh, here we go. So this is called Holiday or Horror Day, or just another great day for a sale. Holidays are great, and I've never said no to a paid day off, but Independence Day, you must be kidding. Just another legal holiday where we get paid to eat and party. Oh yeah, call it what you want, but where I come from, we call it National Barbecue Day, because I do not and will not celebrate the 4th of July. For me, it's just another much needed day off, another delusional fairy tale, a festive celebration of the glorification of self-righteous thievery, rabid genocide, racial degradation, and infanticide. But it is one more of those days when you can get a real deal on a new car, a diamond ring, the newest large screen TV, or anything else you've been convinced you need or want to buy. And then there is Thanksgiving, a grotesque nightmare, a spectacle of lies, a sanctimonious fantasy, a national delusion, a bloodbath reinvented and presented as the friendly family gathering to die for, never mentioning all the folks who did die for the right to pay the price for the lavish feast on America's tables. Sanctified gluttony. But everything on those tables was organic, GMO-free, American-grown, and on sale. So I guess that makes it all right. And no, I have not and will not celebrate Columbus Day, a day celebrating a drunken, egotistical scoundrel who came to wonder where the hell he was at a pompous nemesis who gained fame for the act of getting lost and being the world's most famous alcoholic, an intoxicated braggart who declared himself God to a beautiful bunch of brown folks on a beautiful island in the tropics, kind indigenous brown folks who couldn't care less and didn't understand a word he was saying, holiday or horror day, or just another great day for a sailor. I guess it depends on which side of history you're walking on. But wait a minute. I said, wait a minute, just think about it. All the ways these days can bring us all together. This is the 21st century. One nation with the economic ability to free us all. Let us put the past in the past and celebrate as one. The opportunities are endless. Just take a look. See Kwanzaa cards made by Hallmark. The new and improved and recently reconstructed liberal faction of the newly integrated White Citizens Council's annual Juneteenth celebration. Ooh, sounds familiar to me. It reminds me my holidays don't have to be sanctioned by anybody's religion or the state. I can celebrate whatever and whenever I want, and my holidays, sacred, historical, or just because I want a party, are mine and don't have to cost me one thin dime. Can I do one more? Great. Since it's Pride Month, I'll do this since I couldn't get my poem up for popping. But I do want to wish all the good fathers out there a happy Father's Day. This is called La Voz de Maria, and it's in Spanglish, but I think you'll get the message. And for those who don't know, negra in the Caribbean among Black folks means not only Black woman, it also means darling, sweetheart, and what have you, unless it's used from the mouth of one of those strange folks that thinks that Black means something different. So anyway, it's called La Voz de Maria, or Maria's voice. Maria sang, time stood still, that voice of hers grabbed me and made me listen, demolished my indifference and forced me to listen. She was scared and she stumbled, but I heard the real her and cheered her on, and I knew that I had to know her better. Sonera briosa, negrona de mis sueños, Angelita negra de la canción boricua, Maria sang. Ay, la caricia de la voz de Maria, her voice so warm, I'm sure it melted icebergs all over the North Pole as easily as she melted my ice cube cool heart and turned on the long dead fire south of my equator. Y me encantó, me embrujó, me colmó, you know, she damn near scared me to death. Maria sang. Her voice so sweet, Borinquen spirits danced and laughed and cried, and so did I. Her voice, que brujeria. Always gently demanding my attention, but even when I wanted to run away, eso fue imposible, con su voz abrazándome a él, la voz inolvidable de Maria. Maria sang, and climbed all inside me, shattering the nice steel walls I built around me. Her voice dulce como la guayaba, her powerful medicine cured the fears, the sickness, sang away the aluminum city madness, and planted la bandera in a palm tree in my soul. Made me jump up and dance myself. Well, I say, Maria, ay, Maria, 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 la voz que tú tienes, la voz que tiene Maria, me vuelve media loca. Me da una felicidad sin fin. It haunts me and heals me and makes me very, very, very proud. They said Boricua. Thanks for listening to my words. I'm going to put our poetry series in the chat, and it's the fourth Saturday of the month, and also my book, which is being reprinted as I speak with 60 new poems in it. So please look for that too when it comes out. And with that, thanks again. And Nia, I'm so grateful that you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so, so much, Avacha, and congrats on the reprinting of your book with more poems. That's so, so exciting. And thank you for the poems that you shared this evening, of course. So that concludes our open mic for this evening. I want to thank all of our poets who read today in the lineup. Thank you again to KB for that incredible feature. Thank you to our wonderful, attentive audience. It's always wonderful. I feel very uplifted after sharing these events with all of you. And there's more to come. So this is, again, a monthly series. Our next open mic will be on July 21st. Again, another Thursday, and we're going to be featuring Don Juan Carter Woodward. So please, please do come. If you're interested in signing up for the open mic, and the link that we'll drop in the chat about the event, you can sign up to read. This is, again, one of many programs that we're doing at the museum. We're doing both in-person and virtual programming. So there's things for everyone to be a part of. Please visit our website, Moad SF, to learn more about our upcoming programs. And we've also shared in the chat a few other things. Please take a few moments to fill out our program survey. We love to hear from you. things you like, more things you'd like to see. It just takes a few moments. And lastly, any and all ways of engaging and supporting with the museum are welcome, whether that's becoming a member, coming to our programs, making a donation, visiting the exhibitions, any and all of those ways are very much appreciated. So thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you all very soon. Take care.